Hi and welcome back. We're going to make these leaves into 3D printable objects. They're the leaves that you see typically on top of columns. Go to New, General. Click and drag around all of these. Hit Delete. Go to Top View. That's the Z here. Go to Add, Image, Reference. Let's go on the Transform tool, type the letter S, and we will scale it up. Use the arrow sliders to move it into position, and we want it to be lined up with these crosshairs. Hit this little arrow or the letter N to open up the transform options. Now you can line it up by clicking and dragging on these sliders. We are going to trace this image. Hit N again to put that menu away. Add Mesh Cube. Switch to Edit Mode. Type the letter A to select all of the vertices. Then type the letter M to merge them. Choose At Center. That makes a single vertice right there at the point of origin. And we will now use that to trace the leaf. Before I do, select what areas you want to trace. For me, it'll be this major part of the leaf and then one extra part along the top. Zoom in and hover your mouse right over that point of origin. Type the letter E and move your mouse. Click to finish. We're sure we're in top-down view, and if you have to, click it to be certain. Now, hover over that again and type E. Then click. You always want your mouse to be right on top of the vertex before you type E and move again. Type E and move again. Type E and move again. Shift, middle mouse button, click and drag to move your position. I will now speed this up and you'll see how I'm going to create a tracing. When you get to the center, zoom out, shift middle mouse button, click and drag, and scroll out so you can see both the top and the bottom. You want to do this line in one go. Type E and bring that vertice as close as you can to the beginning. Click to finish. Now, these two vertices are not going to be in the same place. So you can switch back to your transform tool. Make sure you're on vertex selection and click and drag around both of them. Type M and merge at center. Now those are one single vertex. You can make any last minute adjustments to your line. Mine here is not at the center, so I'll select it and move it over. Now switch back to object mode. You can delete this reference image. You don't need it anymore. Click on the leaf to select it and go back to edit mode. Type A to select all of your vertex. Then type F to fill it in. You can see it's a flat object. Before we extrude this, we need to be back in top view. This next part is important. You'll find a knife tool on the right here. Click and hold on it to pull up the Bisect tool. We want to add parallel lines all the way across this. So with everything selected by typing A, I can come out here, click, drag, and before I release, type Control. If you're on a Mac, type Command. And you can see that it snaps, and then you release. And it's made a parallel bisect that's along the red or X axis. We're going to do this a few more times. Type A, click, drag, hold Control, then release. Type A, start to drag, hit Control, and release. If there's a crucial juncture like this, why not add another one? Type A, click, Control, and release. Do this all the way up. Now that we have this bisected, we want to extrude everything. Go to your face selection mode. Come back and select all. If you can't, don't forget you're on Transform tool to select. You can also type A. Now rotate to a side angle, zoom in a little bit, and type E. This will extrude. You want to come up, but not too far. Great. Now let's add a bend to this. We're going to be in side view for this part. We're going to bend the leaf around this 3D cursor. Let's go into X-ray mode. Type A to select all, and we're going to bend it now. I'm going to put my mouse over here. Shift W. Release Shift W, and you can pull and start to bend. Now with everything selected, move this to a point where we can bend it again. Remember, we're bending around this, so we don't want this stuff to bend. Come back out here and make a new selection. If you didn't select enough, hold down Shift. It's okay if some of it goes past this point. Mouse over here, Shift W. Let's do that 2 more times. If you try to move it now, don't forget some is not selected. Undo, select all, or just type A. Mouse over here, Shift W. Mouse over here, Shift W. There's going to be a point when we need to bend things more specifically. So let's come up here, and we're going to switch this to active element. It's usually on median point to begin with, and it looks like a little chain. Choose active element, and then we can bend specific areas. While in X-ray mode, we can make a specific selection, say something like this. But to bend it, we want to make sure that we're on the correct selection mode. So we want to select the line segments. Click off and then back on, and hopefully we've made a decent selection. If you've over-selected, just hit Control and click on that. Now we want this pivot point to be on this line. Shift, select the line, and then select it again, and that will become the active element. and we can rotate. Let's do that one more time. Shift, select, off, and then back on, and rotate. Now our leaf has some character. Let's add a little more topography for it. Let's switch off of X-ray mode, and we want to add subdivisions. In other words, we want more geometry here. The easiest way is to go to Object Mode, come down here to the wrench, which is Modifiers, add a modifier, and search for Subdivision Surface Modifier. You don't need to make any changes for this exercise. Just hit the arrow and apply. If you go back to edit mode now, you can see that it's added more geometry. And it's made very cool sort of curves along the edges of the leaves. But I want to put a crease down the center here. What I'm going to do is select that region only. While in the edge selection mode, I'm going to type the letter C. And that'll bring up this little circle, and then I can drag just along the center here. Hover off to the side and right click to stop that selection mode, and then right click again to subdivide. If we want more subdivisions, go to this context menu and add some more. That looks good. Now we'll switch over to Sculpt mode. For this, I'm going to choose Crease Sharp. I'm going to lower my radius a little bit. I'm going to leave it on plus, but I'll up the strength to somewhere around 8 or 0.8 or 0.9. And then we can click and drag. It helps to rotate a little bit and see how much you're actually manipulating here. We don't need a lot, just a little bit to add some character. If you're getting geometry that pushes through, just undo and lower the strength. That's fine. That little bit that pokes through is okay. Now, go back to Object Mode. The last thing we need to do in order to mirror this is to set our origin correctly. So, because we're in that active element mode, we can change some things. Back over to Edit mode, we want to pick on a vertex that is somewhere in between the farthest point to the left and somewhere that's somewhere in the middle. And I think that's going to be here, and I'll show you why in a minute. Select on the vertex selection tool to choose a point. And now that is the active element. Let's now go to this cursor tool. This is called a 3D cursor. And that's that one that we were bending around before. We want that to be here. So Shift S and hold it for a second and move your mouse down to cursor to selected and then release. And now that will be here. Go to your object mode and we want that to be there as well. So right click, set origin to 3D cursor. I know that part is confusing, and that's why I made this video, because I never remember it. Now let's change the location up here to 0, 0, 0. And you'll see that now our geometry sits right in the middle of our world. We can go up, search for mirror in our modifiers, and we'll have a perfect mirror of that. If we did not move that, the mirror would be offset in a weird way. That doesn't look right. Hit apply. With everything selected, File, Export, STL. Give it a name, and then Selection Only. Export. Go to Bambu. If you don't have this installed yet, it's available at Innovation Studio, but it's nice to have it on your home computer so that you can get all your print jobs ready ahead of time. Go to File, Import, STL. Choose the leaf, and it will say it's too small because we modeled it very tiny. Just say yes, and it will have scaled it up. We should have no warnings here if we did things correctly, and we don't. So now we can set this up for print. Let's do one thing first. We will rotate this. It orients to the floor of the printer. Now we can hit support. We'll enable support, and we can slice the plate. It will create tree supports for the bottom of our model, and hopefully this will peel off okay. It will be thin and fragile, so if we want thinner supports here, under the support tab, scroll down, choose a branch distance of 3 and a branch diameter of 1. We can choose fine for this, 0.12, and because we have that at 0.12, we can scroll down to the top Z distance and offset that by just a little bit, make it 0.14. Reslice the plate. Now we have smaller supports in place, and we should be able to print this without any problems. File, project save as a 3MF file.